Usually when a celebrity says something that goes against the cult of the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party is certainly a cult, usually when a celebrity comes out and says something against them, what's the first thing they do? Oh, they come back with the apologies, just groveling to the Democrats. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kamala. I'm so sorry, Obama. I'm so sorry, Democrats. Please forgive me. Please, please, please. I'll suck your dick. And I just find it sickening, absolutely and utterly sickening. And a couple of days ago, I came across this article that said that Janet Jackson said something about Kamala Harris that was absolutely 100% true, which is the fact that Kamala Harris is not black. And the thing is, Janet Jackson didn't even say that Kamala Harris wasn't black. She said that she heard that Kamala Harris isn't black and that her father is a white man. You would have think that Janet Jackson called Kamala Harris a no good line funky bitch who slept her way to the top. You would have thought she said something like that. But she said something that was probably the least controversial thing possible that you could say about Kamala Harris. But you wouldn't be able to tell that because the Democrats have just come out of the woodworks attacking Janet Jackson. And initially, I thought Janet Jackson apologized. But then, late yesterday, this story came out. Let's take a look at this. Janet Jackson's team shuts down unauthorized apology about Kamala Harris. Here's the latest. The singer finds herself in a PR storm after her alleged ex-manager denounced her remarks about the vice president. Janet Jackson has found herself at the center of confusion after an unauthorized apology was issued by someone who reportedly claimed to be her manager. The statement issued by Mo El-Masri and first reported by BuzzFeed before being picked up by several major news outlets, aimed to address what El-Masri described to Yahoo Entertainment as racist and unbalanced statements by Jackson in a September 21st interview with The Guardian, where the 58-year-old singer questioned Vice Presidential Kamala Harris's racial identity. So essentially, Kamala Harris said, I keep calling her Kamala Harris. Janet Jackson said, I said what I said. I don't think the bitch is black. Which is good for you, Janet Jackson. I knew I always liked Janet Jackson for a reason. I always say celebrities have sold their soul to Satan. And look, there's a good chance that Janet Jackson has sold her soul to Satan. There's a good chance that Michael Jackson also sold his soul to Satan. But the thing about the Jacksons, they're just very likable people. They really are just very likable people. Janet Jackson has never been the type of black woman to be loud, rude, and ghetto. She's very soft-spoken, and just it seems like a very nice woman. And even when she does do the whole sexual thing, she's not blatant with it. You'll never hear Janet Jackson talk about on an album how she got her pussy licked and got her pussy ate. She's not that kind of a woman. Now, Kamala Harris is a low-down hoe. All right, she was a hoe for Montel Williams. She was a hoe for Willie Brown. Janet Jackson has never been that type of a woman. Never been that type of a woman. And, I stand with Janet Jackson 100%. Even, I can't say I stand with. I don't stand with any celebrity. I like Janet Jackson. I think Janet Jackson is cool. I think she has good music. But I'm not the type to say, I stand with this person, man. Because if Janet Jackson saw me right now in my car, Janet Jackson would say, fuck me. But, I like her comments that she made. She made some really good comments. Now, the liberals are engaged in this groupthink kind of thing. They're a cult. The Democratic Party, it's no longer a political party anymore. At this point, it is indeed a cult. Because if you know anybody that's a Democrat, a hardcore Democrat, they don't think like normal people. You have to believe like them. You have to think like them. You have to have the same talking points as them. You have to fall in line completely. If you don't fall in line exactly with what they're telling you, they're going to label you as some kind of bigot, some kind of a racist, some kind of ism. Your racism. That's racism. That's homophobicism. Some nonsense like that. And, of course, as popular as Janet Jackson is, as great of an entertainer as she is, She hasn't been able to stay away from that controversy. She hasn't been able to protect herself from that because the typical shills, the typical the DL Hugleys, the Ricky Smalleys, before we get to what they've said about Janet Jackson, hasn't Ricky Smiley and DL Hughley, they've really shown their colors in this election cycle, haven't they? Now, I've been knowing that DL Hughley was compromised for a while now. I've been knowing that he was a Democratic shield for a very long time now. But how they've just been stumping for Kamala, stumping for baby killing, cum dump Harris, it's just been atrocious. Just been a very sad thing seeing how they've come out just stumping for her. They've come out, they're participating in the shaming, the social shaming of Janet Jackson, because that's what you do in a cult. If you've ever heard of cults, how cults operate, if you say something out of line with the cult ideology, you're a heretic. You're labeled as a heretic. You get shunned. You get burned at the stake. And now, they got D.L. Hughley to essentially try to burn Janet Jackson at the stake. He recently came out attacking Janet Jackson, saying that she has a white woman's nose. And it's not just D.L. Hughley. It's also Bernie Jenkins herself, Ricky Smiley here. And the fact that this is Ricky Smiley you're looking at. The fact that the LGBT supporters, which D.L. Hughley is a huge LGBT supporter. Hell, he's got the DL in his name. You know what DL means? DL means down low. All right? What kind of fucked up name is that? Who would name their kid such a fucked up thing? It's not even a regular name. Have you ever just, in your regular life, in your real life, all right, not celebrity shit, have you ever just happen across someone's whose name was a DL? DL. Have you ever, hey, sir, what's your name? I'm DL. What kind of fucked up name is that? I'm Dick Sucker. I'm Dick Licker. That's what DL stands for. But yeah, he's a shill. Then Bernie Jenkins here. You notice a pattern with black men or men in general who support Kamala Harris. These are usually weak beta males. These are usually men that's got skeletons in their closet that they're not ready to come out the closet just yet. These are usually weak beta males. These are and that's certainly by design, because the Democratic Party is the party of feminism. They want the men to be weak. Okay, they don't want a man to be a man. They don't want a man to lead. All right, that's why they got a woman as their vice presidential nominee. That's why their last nominee prior to Kamala Harris was Joe Biden, a weak, literally feeble man. That's what they want men to become. They don't believe in the sanctity of manhood. They don't believe in real manhood. They want to turn masculinity into femininity. That's why Ricky Smiley is so okay with putting on a dress. He's okay with falling for the agenda. That's why D.L. Hughley recently came out on the show and said that he's okay with transgender kids having sex change operations. These are the kind of people we're talking about that are attacking Janet Jackson. These kind of people. These people that engage in this cult-like ideology. These people that engage in this groupthink. And then if you don't think like them, something is wrong with you. They attack you. Well, I'm glad Janet Jackson refuses to apologize. I think one of the worst things you can do whenever something like this happens is apologize. No, she's standing 10 toes down on what she said, and she's right. She's telling the absolute and utter truth. Kamala Harris is not a black woman. She's not. Her father's white, or at least half white. There's nothing black about her. There's nothing except the lie that she tells that she's black. Kamala Harris has run on being an Indian for years now. All right? There's literally video out there of Kamala Harris saying, "I'm Indian." And she'll do that weird, fucked up laugh. That's the last thing we need in office. So, good on Janet Jackson. I'm proud of Janet Jackson. I knew I've always liked Janet Jackson for a reason. If there is such a thing as a celebrity not selling their soul to Satan, I think Janet Jackson might be one. But, like I said, you got to take celebrities with a grain of salt. Now, does this mean I'm going to be going to Janet Jackson for spiritual and political advice? Absolutely not. It just means that Janet Jackson is like the rest of us and sees the truth, and she's not afraid to tell it, at least a little bit, at least in this context. She's not afraid to fall out of line. She's not afraid to deviate from the cult. So I say good for Janet Jackson. But nonetheless, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.